Call to order the October 4th, 2013 special meeting. Welcome everybody. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, as the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. Okay.
Make a motion to approve the special meeting agenda.
A second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the special meeting agenda. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. New business. Approve or disapprove proclamation declaring September 15th through October 15th as National Hispanic Heritage Month. Did we want to read that? Or?
Sure. Okay. County of Grant Proclamation, National Hispanic Heritage Month 2013. Whereas Hispanic Americans have written crucial chapters in our national story, Hispanics have honorably defended peace, they run successful businesses, teach our next generation of leaders, and pioneer scientific and technology breakthroughs. This month, America acknowledges these vital contributions and celebrates our Hispanic heritage. Whereas Hispanic American represents an array of distinct and vibrant cultures, each of which enriches communities in valuable ways. Just as America embraces a rich blend of backgrounds, those who journey to our shores embrace America, sharing the dream of equality and boundless opportunity. Many Hispanics have marched for social justice and helped advance America's journey toward a more perfect union. Whereas last year, the President of the United States established the Cesar E. Chavez National Monument in honor of an American hero, a man who reminded us that every life has value, that together those how recognize their common humanity have the power to shape a better world. Whereas Cesar Chavez's example teaches us we must never scale back our dreams. The Obama administration remains committed to building a rising, thriving middle class, a middle class accessible to the Hispanic community and to all Americans. As we continue to implement the Affordable Care Act, more than 1 million uninsured Latinos will gain access to coverage. To reduce health disparities, the Obama administration will work to educate, engage, and enroll Hispanic Americans in the health insurance marketplace. Whereas last year the shadow of deportation of young people who are American in every way but on paper, today President Obama is determined as ever to pass common sense immigration reform, for that helps American workers get a fair deal, adds more than $1 trillion to our economy, and provides a pathway to earn citizenship. A bipartisan bill consistent with these principles has already passed the Senate, and a growing coalition of Republicans and Democrats is calling for action. Whereas our ancestors crossed the Atlantic in 1790 or the Rio Grande in 1970, Americans are bound by a set of common values, a love of liberty and justice, the belief that a better life should await anyone willing to work for it. As we celebrate the unique influences of Hispanic cultures during National Hispanic Heritage Month, let us also rededicate ourselves to realizing our shared aspirations. Whereas to honor the achievements of Hispanics in America, the Congress by Public Law 100-402, as amended, has authorized and requested the President to issue annually a proclamation designating September 15th through October 15th, 2013 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. The Board calls upon public officials, educators, librarians, and all Americans to observe this month with appropriate ceremonies, activities, and programs. Whereas in witness whereof we have hereunto set our hands this 24th day of September in the year of our Lord 2013, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 238th. I'm sorry, 38th.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner. Can I get a motion to approve this proclamation?
Mr. Ramos, you worked so hard on that, you ought to make that motion.
I so move.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a proper second to approve a proclamation declaring September 15th through October 15th, 2013 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. Is there any discussion on that motion?
John, my eyes aren't what they used to be. I think we need to get some bolder letters.
Yeah.
I couldn't see half of those letters.
Yeah.
It's in funny font.
We all, yeah.
All those in favor,
We'll fix
signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Next item on the agenda is approve or disapprove proclamation declaring October 14th through the 18th, 2013 as Pro Bono Week. We have somebody in the audience, I think. Yeah, we'll give you a chance to talk here in just a second. We'll read this proclamation and give you a chance to respond. Okay, whereas 1 in every 4 of the 1.75 million New Mexicans live in poverty and experience legal problems, with the majority of these civil problems being family law issues, divorce, child support, custody, abuse, consumer issues, creditor harassment, utility, non-payment, bankruptcy issues, health issues, Medicaid, government issues, nursing home issues, employment issues, unemployment benefits, pension, lost jobs, and housing issues, unsatisfactory repairs, foreclosure, eviction, poor living conditions, and whereas each year the low-income citizens of Silver City lack access to legal assistance for their legal problems that are often critical to their safety and independence, forcing them to resolve complex legal problems on their own. And whereas the need for legal aid in New Mexico is dire. Funding for low-income New Mexicans who need civil legal assistance has not yet been met, with the consequences being lack of access to justice which is devastating for the poor and which weakens our democratic society as a whole. And whereas although 73% of the members of the legal community in the 6th Judicial District donated their time and talents in free legal fees each year, a huge unmet need for legal assistance remains for the disadvantaged in our area. And whereas, sponsored by the Access to Justice Commission and the American Bar Association, with support from the local pro bono committees statewide, Pro Bono Week 2013, from October 14th to the 18th, 2013, will educate the public about the extensive work of New Mexico lawyers are doing and donating their time to improve the lives of vulnerable members of our community, and will encourage more individuals in the legal community to get involved in Pro Bono Week and financially support the legal aid system. And whereas Pro Bono Week 2013 will feature legal clinics throughout the state, assisting New Mexicans who greatly need legal assistance but cannot afford to pay for that help, and will also feature recognition events throughout the state of New Mexico honoring lawyers and judges for making a difference in New Mexico. Now, therefore, the Grant County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim October 14th through the 18th, 2013 to be Pro Bono Week, and urge all residents to recognize the contributions of our legal community helping those most in need. Done on this 4th day of October 2013 by the Grant County Board of Commissioners. Would you like to come up now and introduce yourself and talk about it a bit?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Aldrich, and I am the attorney for Children, Youth, and Family Services here in the 6th Judicial District. I'm also the co-director for the Pro Bono program here. And as was kind of mentioned in the proclamation, and as we're seeing with our federal governmental systems, legal services has been deeply cut, and most of the staff at our local legal services is actually being laid off today, and today is their last day. So you're going to see kind of some issues going on. Well, one of the things that we do to respond to this as attorneys is we really focus on giving to our communities, and each of us try to put in about 40 hours a year annually regarding pro bono services. This year on October 17th we will be having a pro bono day. It's going to be at the Convention Center next to Ace Hardware, as most of us are familiar with, and if Everyone is welcome. There is no income limits. Anyone can come in. There will have, I believe, 17 attorneys, experts in a number of the key issues that will be available. So please feel free to stop by. Please spread the word to those who have issues, whether it's your seniors, whether it's issues with immigration, whether it's bankruptcy, family law. We will be available to talk to people. If anybody's got any questions, I'm happy to answer that.
Any questions for Mr. Aldrich?
No.
Well, I just want to thank you and the other attorneys in the community for participating and giving the help that is needed to our community of people who need that help. Yeah. Thank you very much.
So we need to remember that. So thank you and peace.
We're going to go ahead and give you this proclamation if you'll hang on just a second, but we have to vote on it first. Just a little procedure. Okay, I'd ask for a motion to approve the pro bono week.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the pro bono week
And I second.
proclamation.
There's a motion and a second to approve October 14th through the 18th as pro bono week. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Let's go down. Got your camera, Mary Alice?
You like your old camera better?
Okay, next item on the agenda is to approve or disapprove the creation of the Eco Watershed Planning Group and appointment of the members to a one-year term.
Just to refresh people's memories, we've talked about this Eco Watershed Group. We want to make sure that there's proper protection for our communities, such as PA. All the counties surrounding communities. Every time I pass a PA and it's fire season, it scares the heck out of me, thinking that hasn't been thinned out, and if a good fire starts there, we might be in trouble. And not skipping some of the other communities around Cliff and the Red Rock area and those areas too. But Hanover. There's a lot of there's a lot of risk out there, and I think if we put this Eco Water group together, we can come up with different ways of not only protecting the environment, but thinning and putting proper vegetation to protect our watersheds. And more than anything, we can put in for funds that are available from the government that government agencies such as the Forest Service can't put into themselves. So if we can help them out by putting in for grants and receiving funds to help out these areas, then I think we'd be doing a good job for our communities. Because it does scare me every time we pass through these communities and it's fire season and you see lightning going on. You're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? So, that's the main reason we're putting this Eco group together.
Commissioner, on the group, when I look through, and this is the first time we've been privy to this. First of all, 6 excellent applicants, but there's not really a job description for the group. Is that something the group is going to put together itself?
That's what
and
we were
bring back
planning
for
on.
approval?
That's exactly what we were planning on. We were going to go ahead and put together some kind of resolution after we put the group together, and that'll give everyone more of a chance to look and see what we stand for and what we're going to try and approve with this group.
Good idea gives that group then to participate in that.
They buy in.
Yeah.
They're wholly invested. Now, my other question is are we, like I said, I haven't seen this, so are we set on the 4 members? Because I think all 6 of these are great contributors.
I agree. I think we had just thrown that number together because if we have too many in the group, then sometimes it's hard to get a quorum going.
Yeah.
And
9 would be manageable, I think, though. That would still just be 5.
You know what? That's fine with me. We could appoint all these, and Of course, I'm asking to be on it myself.
Right.
And that'd be 7, and then we could get 2 more from the Forest Service. That's fine with me.
And speaking with Commissioner Ramos, what we talked about with the Forest Service is we have a lot of retired Forest Service in here too, and we would lump them in there, whether they're active or retired in the Forest Service because of their vast knowledge. One person that always comes to mind is Ron Henderson. I mean, he is the forest. He's currently been out elk hunting, and so
I
he's
had
not.
talked to him. I think he just. I had talked to him, see if he was wanting to share with us, and
Yeah.
I believe he will do that. But I mean,
He could be part of the Forest Service continuum.
or someone else. I mean, even if it's not him.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people out there, and that's why we thought 2 representatives from there, because it is the forest. We would like their knowledge.
There's a lot of good knowledge out there that can really benefit this group.
Well, then I think the first motion I would like to make is I would like to change just the wording on this and I would add between 4 and members and say instead of what's there, I would say this group will consist of Commissioner Ramos, 2 representatives from the Forest Service, and between 4 and 6 members chosen at large from the following list. Therefore, if somebody drops out, you don't have to count them in your quorum number.
I think that's a great idea.
It doesn't affect your not meeting. And if they say, I don't want to do this anymore, and people get really enthusiastic, and then they miss about 3 meetings, and they're useless to you.
That's right.
So I'm going to put that in the form of a motion if I can get a second.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then I guess we ought to take a motion appointing these members to form our group.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Mr. Gordon West, Mr. Alex Thal, Mr. Ralph D. Pope, Mr. Glenn Griffin, Ms. Allison Siwick, and Mr. Joseph Mondragon to this committee, to the Echo Watershed Planning Group.
I got some discussion, but a second.
Okay, that's fine. There's a motion and a second on that. Call for discussion on the motion.
Yeah, now this was advertised as far as this committee, and people had an opportunity to respond to it.
Basically, what we've done on this, because it's not a formal committee for this first year, we're trying to put it together, is we've gotten some input from kind of I guess it's kind of a vast array of public. Each one of these people kind of represents a different aspect that deals with the forest. And so that's how it was kind of selected. That's why when Commissioner Caston talked about appointing to a 1-year term, that will let this group kind of form, put together a resolution, then we'll advertise at that point to fill. It's just trying to build it, because there's nothing like this. When I search the web and the internet trying to find other groups similar to this, I don't really find anything to try and build a resolution to bring it to the commission. And so that's why we thought of doing it this way, is trying to get a broad selection from the community. They can put together how this committee's brought, put it back to the commission. The commission gets to decide on how it's put together. You get to have input in that, and then we go out and we advertise and to fill the positions. But these will be only for a 1-year term to start off with. Is kind of how this started.
Maybe we're calling this the wrong name.
Right, that's what I think.
Maybe this ought to be, instead of the Echo Watershed Planning Group, maybe, well,
What's his plan?
it is. Maybe it's the Echo Watershed. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It may be a different name in a year after they get
After
a
a
resolution.
year, we'll take the
See what
planning
they
off.
do.
We can do that. We can change that. I mean,
Well, that's
we
why
can
we
put
want-
together
Anybody
that
have any
resolution.
input from the audience?
Because 3 or 4 of your members
All
have
right, we got a
input.
motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion?
Well, I mean, frankly, we wanted to put this group together because I'm going to be frank here. We don't think that the Forest Service is doing us any justice in our local areas close to our local communities. So we want to make sure that we at least give some kind of input on what we want done and how we want it done. Of course, another big issue is trying to put in for grants and getting monies to help them, and that might be one of the problems. They might not have the financial resources to get some of this done within the local areas. So, that's the whole idea behind this group when we first talked about this and started thinking of what we needed to do.
And Mr. Chairman, I just want the public to know that this is at the planning stage. They're there for a year, and then after that year, then anyone else who is interested and it becomes time, then they will have an opportunity, and it will be publicized at that time.
And these people can reapply for it as well. They're not,
Sure.
they're not gone after the
Oh,
year.
yeah.
They're more than welcome to reapply to be back on it.
As any committee.
And at that time, the terms will be set up where there's some people so we have continuity, some
Yes.
people with one, some
We're not
two,
voting
some
off the whole
threes.
group.
Let's vote.
Call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
We will send letters.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming, everybody, and call for a motion to adjourn.
Congratulations on your participation.
Yeah, thank you very much for attending the meeting and putting in for this
Motion to
group.
adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We adjourn.